All right, so today we learn off of CNN here that the jury begins deliberations in Derek Chauvin's trial and the death of George Floyd. And this was at 5:53 Eastern on Monday, April 19th. Today was the day that, both the prosecution and the defendant's attorneys closed their arguments, and the jury deliberations began today, for Derek Chauvin's trial for the death of George Floyd. And in the state's closing argument, the prosecutor said that Chauvin kneeled on Floyd's neck and back for 9 minutes, 29 seconds, which we all have heard those numbers before, over and over, because of his pride and his ego in the face of a concerned bystander. So they said that he was not going to let these bystanders tell him what to do, and he was going to do what he wanted, how he wanted, and for as long as he wanted. He probably would have even done it longer, potentially. There was nothing that they could do about it because he had the authority, he had the power, and other officers and the bystanders were completely powerless. And the prosecuting attorney, I believe his name is Schleicher, said that he was trying to win and George Floyd paid for it with his life. That's a big, big, big statement there. And the comments about Chauvin's pride and ego were the first time prosecutors had specifically discussed Chauvin's mindset when Floyd died on May 25th, 2020, and the elements that are key to the charges of the second-degree unintentional murder and third-degree murder and second-degree manslaughter against him. And in response, the defense attorney, Eric Nelson, said that Chauvin acted as a reasonable officer and would in any situation that there is no evidence he intentionally or purposefully used force that was unlawful. He went on to say that you have to look at it from the reasonable police officer standard. You have to take into account the officers who are human beings, capable of making mistakes in highly stressful situations. And Nelson said, in this case, the totality of the circumstances were known to a reasonable police officer, and the precise moment that force was used demonstrates that this was an authorized use of force. As unattractive as it may be, this is reasonable doubt. That makes it very interesting. You got two sides, and I know that Eric Nelson is doing his job, but at the same time, really? Anyways, so in my eyes, this was a deliberate move on the side of Derek Chauvin, unfortunately. He did not get off of Mr. Floyd's neck and back after his own officers and associates said to him a couple of times, I think they have in the video, you think we should turn him on his side? And after that, Mr. Floyd's pulse, I think he said that it was not there, it was not present. And this should have been enough to suggest to someone who was reasonable that less force should be used. And even the officers could have been a little bit more forceful and say, hey man, the suspect doesn't even have a pulse, ease up. But that really didn't happen. It was like, it was Chauvin and that's what he wanted, and that's what Mr. Floyd got. And it just confirms that we all know that, life is too short for all of us. We never know when our time will come. I just know that, when I have breath in my lungs and I have health and I'm able to see and I'm able to walk and I'm able to talk as you hear my voice right now, that this means that I have opportunity today, right now, and the opportunity to change my life for the better. There are opportunities all around us every day, and some of those are good and some of those are bad, but with the things that have happened since the pandemic started, we have this event that happened that is affecting our nation. We've been through so much in such a short amount of time. And when we look at the big picture, it really comes down to how things can escalate really fast in our lives, good or bad. And so if you're looking for a way to continue, having more income, generating more income, possibly from home if you can do it, that can escalate quickly as well. So why not take advantage of something like that? We have the internet now. Why not? And if we're faced with having to make a change in our life right now, what might that look like for you? What if you went into work tomorrow and all of a sudden your manager calls you into his office and says, hey, we have to let you go? How fast would that escalate in your life? So questions would be like, do you have enough in your emergency fund? Do you have enough money saved in a bank account without touching your retirement account? Would you be in the unemployment line looking to get a check for the next 26 weeks and hopefully you can land a better paying job later? Or might you be a person who is already involved in a side hustle that generates more than your current salary, or could potentially generate more than their current salary? And if you haven't set up a way for you to have provision like that, why haven't you escalated that in your life? The reason I'm asking is because time is short. And if you're struggling on finding the best side hustle that would actually work best for you, I believe that I can help you with that. If you're interested to know how to generate more income from home without having to figure out all the daunting details and, wasting valuable time trying to reinvent the wheel, then I'm glad you're still here, because I recommend that you fill out a short questionnaire that will help you find the best opportunity that can work for you. And then after you complete the questionnaire, you'll be able to find out more details on if it's a good fit for you to help you generate income from home. Now, this really isn't for everyone, so just click the link below this video to access the questionnaire and find out what type of program best fits your needs.